Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. I am honored and delighted to be standing here in front of you today as your chief guest. And I'm sorry that I wasn't able to be here in person to celebrate National HR Day on February 22nd with you. I hope you had a memorable time. Belated wishes on the 5th anniversary of MA MAP. I feel very fortunate that I had the opportunity to take part fully in the National HR Convention and Expo last year. It was encouraging to see people from different walks of life who wanted to contribute to the betterment of our nation at the Expo. And I loved the opportunity to meet and listen to work you were all doing for the growth of individuals as well as organizations. This gives hope when there is a growing culture of me, 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 and the social trend towards self-interest, materialism, and competitive aggression have become a prevalent dimension of everyday life. I like to believe that MAP are working to create a more sustainable impact where there is a purpose beyond your individual selves, that your 5 years of existence and beyond is to make meaningful contributions to the nation for generations to come. Thus, the reason why you welcome and encourage participation from different organizations and individuals, including teachers like me. I still see myself as a teacher. When I was asked to say a few words at this event, I wrote in my family WhatsApp group, what do I talk about in front of HR professionals and all the national and international keynote and expert speakers? I am already nervous, and I am not joking, I'm still nervous. And then my niece replied, you will be great. Talk about what you know and what makes sense to you in how to manage staff. So today, I want to share with you the question I ask every day as I strive to be a better leader and, more importantly, a better human being than I was the day before. How can I be a source of support and comfort to people? I believe this is something we should all ask ourselves every day. As head of HR or as a person in any leadership or decision-making role that impacts the quality of life of the people we work with. As a woman leader responsible for looking after a workforce comprising of 90% women, students from ages 6 to 12, and their parents, this was an important question for me. These are brilliant and committed women educators who were in charge of shaping the nation's future. So it was important that as a leader, I be a source of comfort and support to them so they in turn could give the same support and comfort to their students. In a way, it was easy for me to empathize and be compassionate and be a compassionate leader to them because I was a young mother myself with 2 children. However, even with all the support I had at home, I was still struggling to balance work and life. This is a never-ending struggle. What I'm most thankful for is that I have not forgotten those days. My struggles as a working mother and the struggles of my fellow teachers are still vivid. I remember clearly the day a supervisor burst out crying when she found out she was pregnant with her second child and believed that she had to quit her job. Or the memory of another brilliant teacher who often fell asleep on the sofa of the staff room because she did not want to go back to her abusive husband. By the way, she managed to leave him. The memory of the memory of a young teacher who was doubled up on the health room bed with excruciating pain, stomach pain. She refused to go to the hospital till her husband came. Later we found out that she had an ectopic pregnancy. The memory of the teacher who went back and forth from hospital with her little son, not knowing what ailed him. Later she found out that the boy had cancer. The whole school community got together to raise funds so she could take her son abroad for treatment. The memory of pain on the face of a teacher whose son was in a critical condition because a peanut got stuck in his air passage. The day he decided to take his son abroad, he coughed up the peanut. The memory of two Bangladeshi workers who came to work in our school and how happy they were to be included as part of the school community. The gratefulness on their faces when they were provided home-cooked meals, same food we make for Roda Villung, which is iftar, and har during Ramadan is still vivid. One may ask why it is important to remember those struggles. What does it add to my life now? I believe it allows me to be a more compassionate leader. For example, within the first 100 days of this administration, women were granted 6 months of maternity leave and men 1 month paternity leave without any effect on their salary. This would have been invaluable back when I was a new working mother. However, people who struggled before and are now in leadership positions have told me that they are not going to employ women anymore. I mean, can you imagine this? Maternity leave and family emergency leaves should not be a barrier for women who are skilled, capable, and educated from getting jobs or moving up in workplace. What a good leader should be doing is to find ways to help balance their employees' work and home lives. A good leader should be looking to embrace workplace flexibility such as flexi time and telecommuting. Of course, this would vary from organization to organization. At the time in schools, I found that flexible schedules work well for teachers. For example, a teacher whose child is studying in the afternoon session can be allowed to work in the afternoon session as well. Adjusting the timetable of a teacher who needs to go to breastfeed her child was common practice in schools. Work-life balance and a lack thereof can affect an employee's mental health. So it's important that we are able to work in a stress-free environment. It is important that we make these adjustments for them. It is important that we be flexible. It is important that we listen to them. It is important that we check on them and feel them welcome in the organization. Speaking of which, last year, a CEO of an SOE invited me to their Thursday motivation session to share my experience as a leader. One of the young staff who was employed recently asked me how he could get to know the work better and get along with the staff better. I said the organization could assign new employees a mentor This would give them a familiar face in the company and immerse them in company culture from the start. They would also know they have someone to turn to. The CEO and the staff took this suggestion well, and I want to mention that this is a great company with well-motivated staff, but they just have not thought about this aspect. Ladies and gentlemen, today there are still many challenges in the workplace. There is still a lot of work that needs to be done, especially in terms of equality in the workplace. I want to conclude by sharing some of the feedback I got while I was preparing this speech. One of the, I think you have to go back. And one of the people said, please talk about difficulties faced by women in the workforce. I mean, I have talked about it a lot. Even my Women's Day speech last year was based on this. And one said, need for flexibility. And another person said, I find this very important, and often I have to speak to HR to be flexible at times when the situations are different. In many cases, they fail to listen to staff. And another person said, we don't want to attend to work during the weekend that could have been done during work hours. Weekends we want to spend with family. And another one said, don't want to stay back after work to do unplanned work. Someone else said, need for heads, men and women who've reached the top posts to actually believe flexibility is workable, especially in today's technologically advanced world. And another one said, the other day, one of the ex's nieces were talking about how little staff are actually listened to by heads. What she was saying was at least listen and try to give some sort of answer. The staff who actually work hard ask for very little. The list is endless. The common theme I see is the need for flexibility and a listening ear. But like I said before, these type of engagements gives us hope for a better tomorrow. I wish you lots of laughter and reflection in this two-day event. That's me trying to be flexible. I run a lot, I do weights, but this is an area that I'm lacking in. So my trainer always say, if you don't stretch, you're going to injure yourself. Even now I'm wearing knee braces. Thank you very much.